Welcome once again to another episode of the Random Access Podcast, brought to you by rapodcast.net. This is episode 828, recorded live on March 22nd, 2025. And here are your hosts. The man who now has another layer to his drink question, Dave Play.
Hi.
And the man who's got a lot of options now, Andy Lowe. Hi.
What do you mean I have a new layer?
Well, it's now a two-layer question. Do you want to keep with your two options right now?
Yeah.
Or I've got 6 other options in the fridge.
I feel like there's a Monty Hall problem in here somewhere. Do I find out if I pick to switch, like, if I pick one, do you tell me something about one of the others or something like that?
No, it's just we have 2 options left on the current status, but it turns out there was 6 other things that I have never tried before that I saw at Meijer.
Oh, God. So the way the question really is, Andy, is do I want to, like, force you to wait longer for the new thing, or do I want to force you to wait longer for the old thing? I'm going to make you wait longer for the old thing that you've already been waiting for, under the assumption that you're really excited to try the new thing.
I have no dogs in either fight.
They're all your dogs! Don't give me this, there's no dog, I don't have a dog, that's not literally all of them are your dogs. Yeah, go get one of the new ones. All right. I have 6 to choose from?
Yes.
From left to right, they're all in the fridge, yeah?
Yes, they're all in the fridge.
From left to right, pick the third.
Okay. BRB.
I will wait. Literally, all of them are his dogs. Like, this is... I don't know what he means when he says, I don't have a dog in that fight. Like, literally all of... It is entirely his fight with his dogs. Ugh. Welcome back, Andy.
You know, I can see that you talked in that whole thing.
Yes.
I can't go back and listen to it, but I know it's there. And so, you know... There was one other time where I left to go grab something from the kitchen, and then you started talking about something, but I went back during the editing process and overwrote whatever you were talking about.
What do you mean you overwrote it?
I recorded a small section during that time saying that Dave thought that he could sneak in some audio during this time.
That's really funny.
But he cannot. And then I think I put in, like, the Willy Wonka, you lose, sir.
Oh, great. So now we're going to get a copyright takedown. That's not public domain, Andy.
I know. It's short enough.
I think it is short enough.
All right. So you have now picked bottle number 3 from the new line. You have picked the Sea Blue edition
of
Red Bull.
Oh,
there are 6. There were 6
Red Bulls.
There are 6 different flavors of Red Bull in my fridge
Andy,
right now.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I saw like one of them. I was like, really? What is this? And then I like looked in the thing there, and I'm like, holy crap! It's like a whole freaking rainbow in this section.
What? But also, Andy, it's 11:20 at night.
Yeah.
And you're about to chug a Red Bull?
I'm not going to chug the Red Bull. Heck, I don't even know if this is good.
Chug the Red Bull. Chug the Red Bull. No, Andy, don't do it. Chug the Red Bull. Andy, whatever you do, do not chug the Red Bull.
Oh my gosh. So speaking of Red Bull, randomly saw this. They have, you know, Red Bull always has those like silly competitions, right?
Yeah, they sponsor like extreme sports that are just insane.
Well, I saw the Red Bull soapbox race, or I saw a clip of the Red Bull soapbox race.
Uh-huh.
Some guy had dressed himself up like Mr. Bean riding on top of the little Mini Cooper car.
Okay.
For the soapbox. I thought it was hilarious.
That's pretty cute.
This is Juneberry. No surprise, it is artificially flavored.
Yeah. Chug.
I don't know what Juneberry is supposed to taste like.
That?
Yeah, it tastes berry-ish, but let's see. The enticing taste of Juneberry. Juneberry is not a thing.
What do you mean not a thing?
What is does a Juneberry actually exist?
I presume so. Yes. Juneberries, how to identify, harvest, and eat. Also known as shadwood, or Saskatoon, or a sugar plum. You know the dance of the sugar plum fairies? That's what these are.
Oh, okay. So flavor described often as a combination of dark cherries, blueberries, apples, and raisins with a hint of almonds.
Wait, raisin isn't a flavor. Grape is a flavor.
Yeah, why do they say grape? What? Or yeah, why not say grape?
It's like the Oreo CEO. Milkshake isn't a flavor.
Oh my gosh, I know you can't have them, but those Post Malone Oreos. Oh my god, so good.
Which ones are these? I think I saw them, but I dismissed them because I can't eat them.
Yeah, it's like shortcake and like salted caramel. Let's see. Yeah, it's a chocolate wafer, golden Oreo bottom wafer, and in the middle is a blend of salted caramel and shortbread flavor cream.
Okay.
It's so good. And people are trying to sell them on eBay. You can still get them in the store.
Them in the store. Why are you trying to sell them on eBay? You can literally just go to the store and buy them.
I don't know. But yes, no, I'm going to drink this Red Bull and I'll be fine.
Chug the Red Bull.
I'm not going to chug the Red Bull. I'm going to have so much burps at that point.
Meanwhile, I'm drinking Torrinelli raspberry syrup flavored water.
Flavored syrup in the water?
Yeah. Instead of in like carbonated water, it's just water. It tastes like a flat phosphate.
What did I do for a while? I did grapefruit juice in the water. That wasn't too bad.
So to be clear, just for you had watered down grape juice.
No, grapefruit juice.
Okay, watered down grapefruit.
Well, it
juice.
was like a grapefruit like crystal packet, and you would dump it in the water and mix it up.
So it's flavoring.
Yes.
Okay.
Or I think it literally was crystallized grapefruit. Because there was warnings on the box, like do not take this with medication. Yeah.
Yeah, grapefruit is surprisingly reactive to a lot of things that we use as medicine. Like shockingly reactive.
Yep.
Like will kill you reactive. Like what the fuck, grapefruit? Also, I learned this week, and it's part of a little bit of a skit. Lemons don't occur naturally. Lemons, as we know them, are the intentional crossbreeding between a citron and a type of bitter orange.
Really?
Which means, Andy,
yeah,
life never gave us lemons. We did it to ourselves.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, when life gives you lemons, life didn't make lemons. We did. Speaking of lemons, how's your bracket?
Oh, boy.
It's that time of year again, folks. It's late March, which means basketball. Does Dave know the rules? Got enough to watch.
Well, okay, so here's the problem. So normally I would...
So here's the problem. Yes.
So normally I would take certain power rankings that people would have and compare them to the ESPN, because ESPN would put out the data for all the teams and how many, like what percentage of people picked for all the teams. Yep. So you would even see the people who like picked, the 16 seed to go to the national championship, that like 0.001%. They had a huge table with all these numbers, and I would compare those to the power rankings and try and figure out who was overrated, who was underrated, that sort of thing. ESPN did not post that this year.
Oh, no.
So I sit down Tuesday morning with my spreadsheets ready to go, and I'm like, okay, where's my data?
Uh-oh.
Shit, where's my data? Going through everything. Where the hell is this? They don't have it anymore. They had a people's bracket that showed the top two picks So it showed all the people's choices for the first round. And whoever the people chose for that round, would go to the second round. And then they would just put those two teams together for the second round.
Uh-huh.
And how many percentage of people picked compared to those. So it wasn't full data.
Right.
So I winged it this year. I winged it this year, and it did not turn out well so far. Let's see. Because I had picked Gonzaga as my dark horse this year, and that I just found out did not go well.
Yeah.
So after 39 games, I have been correct in 22 of them.
Oof. That's about half.
Yep.
That's just a little better than half.
And
which means you could have randomly picked your games.
Yep.
And expected to do about as well.
Yep.
Oof.
So yeah, one of my Final Four is out. 3 of my Elite 8 are out. And so far for the Sweet 16, 1 out, 2 out, 3 out, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of the 16 are out so far.
Yeah. I did not make a bracket this year, but I'm looking at where everything is right now, and I'm like, well, all right then.
Yeah.
Ooh, a 10-2 upset.
Yeah, there was a 10-7 upset in the first round. There was two 12s over 5s, which actually seems to be, I think Nate Silver actually posted a thing on Twitter or X or whatever it is.
Yeah.
See if I can find it, because X is always a pain in the ass to deal with right now. But he had posted a thing on there, and it's like the number of upsets that have happened over the last, I think it was like decade or 15 years or something like that, was just ridiculous compared to previously.
And then it keeps going up?
Yes.
Interesting. I wonder why.
Here it is. Okay, let me see.
Are teams just closer together?
Yeah, okay, so in between 1985 and 2009, a number 1 never lost to a 16.
Right.
In that span, there was a 3% upset of 15s over 2s, 15% of 14s over 3s, 20% of 13s over 4s, 34% 12 over 5s, and 32% of 11s over 6. Total upset percentage of 17%. Now, since 2010, so the same time span, but from 2010 until now, 4%, 12%, 14%, 21%, 37%, and 50%. Every single one has been increasing.
That's weird. I wonder why that is.
I don't know. Have we reached basketball parity, maybe?
Like, we're just, the distance between the teams is so small?
Yeah.
Could be.
So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, two 12s,
Could be also like, were there rule changes that favored weaker teams?
I don't know. I don't know enough about basketball to see that, but looking at that stat going, because we had always, things have looked a lot crazier over, the last umpteen years, and it's true, things have gotten a lot crazier over the last 15 years.
Yep, 1 seeds losing to 16 seeds.
Yeah, that was like the go-to thing. First thing I did, 1-1-1-1.
Yep. Yeah, and now it's not necessarily.
Nope. Or heck, it was
Although, you said it was a 4% in the last 15 years?
Yes.
So,
it's only happened once.
Yeah, but it could still happen.
Yeah.
Did a 15 didn't win over a 2 this year, though?
I do not believe so.
Yeah, it's all the 1s went on, all the 2s went on, all the 3s went on.
Yes.
From their first game.
All the
4s went on from their first game.
But 2 of the 5s lost.
Yeah, and usually, like with classic wisdom,
it would
at
be
least
1.
1 is expected.
Yes. But now it's like, okay, now you're almost better going for 2 of them. And then, 6s versus 11s. How many 6s got on? 1, 2, 3. 3 out of the 3 6s went on, with Missouri losing to Drake.
I mean, it sounds like it's still pretty good this year, Andy.
Yeah.
There was the one surprise upset of a 5-12, of a second 5-12, I should say. everyone else seems to be doing pretty much as expected.
Well, Arkansas just beat St. John's, so that's a 10/2 in the second round. And Wisconsin just lost to BYU, so that's a 6/3.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, but at least for the first round.
Yes.
Is my point. Once you're past the first round, all bets are off. Mm-hmm. Like, a 1 can lose to a 9.
Yeah.
In the second round. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really interested in how this Florida-UConn game is going to work out.
Oh, God, don't tell me about that because I've got Florida going the whole way.
Well,
mean... Oh, no.
We'll find out tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock.
I thought you were talking about right now, and I was like, oh.
No. Florida and UConn are tomorrow morning, but, like, UConn's not a bad team.
No.
Michigan is still in there.
Mm-hmm.
Although they are playing Auburn. That's going to be... Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. My coworker had Michigan going out to UC Sandiego. It was the 12-5 upset that he had picked.
Auburn basically has the number 2 offense and the number 12 defense.
And Michigan has?
Oh, my God. I got to scroll down here. Michigan.
They got to have a pretty high defense.
Michigan, where are you at? No, that's state. Michigan, 39th offense and 13th defense.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I knew their offense was not great.
No.
The defense is a little surprising that it's so low. Because, like, if you look at the scores of the Michigan games, they aren't high.
No, the points allowed per 100 possessions, Michigan is at 93.4, and the top team, which is Houston, was at 87.8.
What's the possessions allowed, though?
I don't have that on this chart.
Yeah, I'd be very curious is if you can get the ball with Michigan, you're going to score. But can you get the ball?
Let's see. Michigan has 69.8 possessions per 40 minutes. That puts them at 58th.
That is very far down.
Well, there's not a lot of, some of these teams, though, like South Dakota is ranked number 2 for time of possession. Some of the big teams that are still left, like Alabama, is ranked number 1 with time of possession. And they also... Yeah,
that's my point, that, like, Michigan's very far down.
And, man, they are scoring a lot of points per 100 possessions, too. Jeez, oh, Pete.
Are you rethinking your bracket, Andy?
Well, I can't do anything about it now.
Nope.
But yeah, no, I had a whole plan, and I sat down, and the plan was shot, and I'm just like, well, crap, now what am I supposed to do? And I tried something, and it seems to have not really worked. So
yeah,
I got to come with a new plan. I'm very curious, though, to see how many people were talking to some sort of AI about their, bracket picks.
I wonder how many AIs got to make a bracket.
Oh my goodness. I always thought about that. I was like going like, okay, you have enough time. You could probably figure something out. But I'm sitting there thinking like, yeah, I've not been the first person to try and program their way out of a March Madness bracket.
God, no. There's just so much noise and chance. Like, it comes down to probability. That isn't going away.
Nope. Well, that was, what was it? It was in Moneyball, I do believe, where, Moneyball was all about the Oakland Athletics using, sabermetrics and probabilities and that sort of stuff there to build the team to compete. And they had, the streak for the longest win streak at the time. So they were a good team over the long haul. But when it got to the playoffs, there was just, you have 7 games total. You could accidentally flip tails 7 times, and still not be too far off of, probability.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where it's like, yes, you could build a team. It could be good probability wise, but still, and it's such a small window. A lot of it is just chance.
Yeah.
Nope, I gotcha.
It's all chance.
Well,
speaking of AIs.
Yes, sure.
Do we want to jump into some topics?
Sure, we can jump into some
AI-based. We actually have several AI-based topics.
Yes.
It's hard to avoid the topic of AI right now. HIMSS was a week ago. This isn't a topic. HIMSS was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It's the health information, health IT management, it's the big healthcare conference, healthcare IT conference.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it before. Healthcare Information Management Systems Society, HIMSS. They had like 99% of the booths had something about AI.
Oh, I don't doubt it. One of the guys who I have to go find. One of the guys who grew up down the street from me, was also on the swim team. He's now a teacher. Said that he had just gotten back from the Michigan Association of Computer Users in Learning conference, and there was a group called Michigan Virtual, and they did a whole presentation on the future of education in a world of AI. And he was like, "This, we need to figure this out."
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Like, we need solutions to this right now, because AI is advancing at far too quick a pace to keep up with it.
Yes.
Yeah, all those people who were like, oh, we've got, like, decades before we need to start thinking about the ethics of AI. I'm like, well, your decades are gone. We are now down to not decades.
Nope.
Years. Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe years. Months.
Well, not even, yeah. Part of my AI presentation, I talked about the voice masking,
Yep.
where, I pointed out the line in the article saying like, oh, this could be used for nefarious purposes or politicians or something like that. And then I literally, have the thing talking about Joe Biden robocalls,
Yep.
Voice generated by AI. And it's like, yeah, no, somebody saw that one coming 6 to 8 months ahead of time of where it was going to be. No surprise. So, yeah, no, Cloudflare is trying to protect some of their stuff, some of their clients against AI, unauthorized AI scraping.
So this is like what DeepSeek did.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yes. So, rather than when they detect unauthorized crawling of websites by something, rather than blocking the request, they will link to a series of AI-generated pages that are convincing enough to entice a crawler to traverse them. But while real looking, this content is not actually the content of the site that we are protecting.
Interesting. So they're making fake pages, AI-generated pages for the AI to crawl?
Yes.
What happens if it's not an AI that hits one of those fake pages?
Well, they said that they are using neutral information about biology, physics, or mathematics, so they don't want to spread misinformation, but they're just putting out facts that have nothing to do with what the website was actually, doing. And
you don't think that the AI that's crawling the pages would notice?
How? All that stuff's going to be entirely automated, right?
Yeah, but well, sort of, because I could say to a large language model, we're going to give you a page, read through the information on the page. The page should be about X. If it's not, then you've been caught in a labyrinth and we need to change something to get out of it.
All right, so they say no real human would go 4 links deep into a maze of AI-generated nonsense. Any visitor that does is very likely to be a bot.
Well, but those bots are getting to be more and more intelligent.
Yep.
It's Red Queen, man. Red Queen. This will work for all of 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. The company now says that AI crawlers are amounting to nearly 1% of all web traffic that they process.
Yep.
Just the crawlers. Jeez.
I'd believe it.
Mm-hmm. But still, I love the fact that they're using AI-generated gobbledygook to block AI.
To fake out the AIs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
AI arms race.
Yep. And we will be the losers.
Yep.
What other AI do we have?
Well, Meta is looking at testing AI-generated comments on Instagram.
So testing, I'm looking at someone's Instagram photo?
Yes.
And I press a button,
and it will give
and the AI gives me options on what to post?
Yes.
That feels weird.
Okay, so the example they have here is a photo of somebody giving a thumbs up in their living room. Meta AI suggests that the users could comment, "Cute living room setup, love the cozy atmosphere," or "great photo shoot location." If the user doesn't like those AI-generated comments, they can refresh to get more suggestions.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like that either.
I don't like that at all. That sounds absolutely terrible.
I could see that where somebody, generates an AI comment about somebody's photo and then forgets what they posted, and then they meet up with them later and be like, "Oh yeah, thanks for asking about that. Here's a whole bunch of other information."
I mean, that's actually no different than reality, though.
Yeah,
you could
that's
certainly
true.
Forget the comment that you posted. It's just like, why are all of the responses to my photo so generic?
Yeah.
What happens when I make an Instagram account that just posts AI-generated photos? And then the AIs comment on it. I don't like this, Andy. I don't like this at all.
Well, what are we going to do about it? You not post on Instagram?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't use Instagram.
I don't really post on Instagram anyway. I use Instagram to post photos on Facebook just because it's easier.
That's really sad. Okay, so what else? What about AIs and memes?
Well, somebody did a study where they had, famous memes, and they had humans come up with, various prompts, various lines for the memes. And then they also had some AIs come up with lines for the memes. And the AI-generated meme captions scored higher on average for humor, creativity, and shareability than those made by people.
Oops.
So the AI seemed to understand memes better than people, it seems.
Although a commenter pointed out that the memes are just like, they're bad.
Just like all of them are bad?
One lesson is many people find bad memes funny and interesting. Does AI's success reflect statistical proficiency in reproducing humor patterns, or simply its ability to target the lowest common denominator of internet comedy?
Oh, that is a fair point.
So the memes, the AIs made memes, but they were not great memes.
No, this does say that the top ones were all made by people. So on average, the AI models scored higher, but the best ones
were not as good as the humans.
Yes.
Good to know that we're safe for another few months on memes.
Skynet is not coming for our memes. That's good.
No. Jobs, maybe. Lives, yeah. Memes? No, we're fine.
Yeah, speaking of jobs, where did it
That's an ominous jump, yes?
Well, because of the, from data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, state that more than a quarter of all computer programming jobs have vanished within the past 2 years.
Yeah. My mom keeps asking me to find a job in Ann Arbor and move home. I don't know if that's going to happen because there aren't jobs.
I could try and teach you about radio. I don't know if you've got any openings in our division.
I don't think I could afford to change.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably be a bit of a hit, especially working for the government.
I make $160 a year.
Yeah, I do not. So yeah, that would be a bit of a hit. Yeah.
I also can't go back to education.
Nope.
I cannot be a teacher.
Nope.
So, yeah.
But yeah, so right now there are fewer programmers in the United States than at any point since 1980.
Oops. Which is weird because, I know we have more programmers than we've ever had before at work. So where are all the jobs going? And don't you dare say to AI.
I don't know. Okay, so it looks like in here there's some differentiation between software developers and programmers.
Well, that's just bullcrap. What's the difference between a software developer and a programmer other than their title?
All right, because this came from the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Yeah, well, I mean, most things that come out of the government right now, I don't really grain of salt. Man, grain of salt.
Well, this also might be just old categories.
Yep.
Because there was even things with broadcast engineers that some of the stuff with the government, labeling was just way out of date. You're talking like the broadcast engineers of the 50s and 60s type of job descriptions. And I read that and I'm like, nope, don't do that anymore. Don't need to. But, okay, so the programmers do the grunt work. of, actual coding. Software developers figure out what clients need, design solutions, and work with folks such as programmers and hardware engineers to implement them. So 27.5% of programming jobs have vanished. Jobs for software developers have only fallen 0.3%. So the actual coder jobs, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, have fallen by a quarter. But the software developer role, could it be just the programming jobs have been moved into software developer roles?
I don't know. This feels like it's just dumb.
Could this whole thing just be the fact that the government doesn't know what they're talking about?
That's what it sounds like, and neither does the media.
Well, of course, the media has no idea about anything technology related. I have worked in the media. I know. Right. So, it don't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. They shouldn't be different categories. They said programmers are the grunts. Yes. The actual, what we would, call a code monkey, right?
And what are they calling software engineers?
According to the thing here, it looks like the definition from the Bureau is they handle clients, design solutions, and work with folks such as programmers to implement the solutions.
I mean, that sounds like a project manager more than anything else. By that definition, I am a programmer. My boss is a software engineer. And that is not true. I think, just
computer programmer, occupation.
Bad understanding of the data.
Occupation 15-1251, computer programmer, create, modify, and test the code and scripts that allow computer applications to run, work from specifications drawn up by software engineers, and web developers or other individuals may develop and write computer programs to store, locate, and retrieve specific documents, data, and information.
This feels vastly out of date. If you're doing that, you're writing software. And so when it says 1 in 4 programming jobs have vanished, they're saying that these are all moving to be software engineers?
Well, I'm thinking that's what they are. There's a big here in the chunk where other people are trying to pontificate on why this is happening.
Yeah, it's because what they're labeling as a programmer is too narrow, I think.
I know we've been trying to get more programming people on there, but it's still hard just trying to find anybody in a technical position. Yeah. Because who wants to deal with radios?
Or old radio code? Mm-hmm. What language is it all written in?
Oh, this stuff they're moving to. It's like an analog audio over IP. So it's not actually digital, but it's analog audio encapsulated in IP.
In a digital packet.
Yes, in a digital packet, which to me is so ridiculous. But
isn't that just digitizing the analog signal?
Pretty much. But it's why not just completely go IP? Why carry it as an analog packet the whole way? Why not digitize it at the beginning so your bits and bytes?
You are digitized. Andy, in order to translate it, it has to get digitized.
I know, but I'm saying that it's basically just an encapsulated analog signal.
Which is converted by... I fail to see how that is different than what a WAV file is. Please explain to me the difference between an encapsulated analog signal and a .wav.
It's probably not.
Which, if I were to try to describe it, would be a digitized analog signal, sampled generally at 44,000 samples per second.
If I remember correctly, there was something about the location of the... It was something about the digital audio encoders with how the signal was sent over the 800 megahertz. It was in...
Okay, hang on.
This was tried to explain to me at one point because, I got this job without even actually understanding the difference between 800 megahertz two-way radio communications and, AM and FM broadcast communications, which are only one way. Are you going to an AI to get a response to this?
Yes. In radio technology, sound is often transferred via analog over IP. How is this different than digitized audio? Analog over IP is fundamentally different, though they may seem similar at first glance. Key differences are signal representation. Analog IP transmits an analog signal that's been packetized for IP transport without converting it to digital samples. How? Digitized audio converts the analog sound waves into digital samples. AOIP wraps the analog signal in IP packets, preserving its analog characteristics. Again, how? How does an analog signal get sent in a packet and not be digital? That gets to the heart of a common misunderstanding. In reality, analog over IP is somewhat of a misnomer. When audio is transmitted over IP networks, it is necessarily digitized. The confusion comes from how the broadcasting industry uses the terminology. AOIP has minimal processing digital transport. The audio signal is converted to digital with minimal processing, then immediately packetized for IP transport. Uses simple linear pulse code modulation without compression. Okay. So you lied the first time. So your first statement was kind of misleading, right? Like, fundamentally, the AOIP and a WAV file are the same idea. You're absolutely right. My first response was misleading. You've hit the nail on the head. Both AOIP and a .wav file fundamentally involve digitized audio. There is no way to send truly analog signals, continuous voltage variations, over an IP network, as IP networks exclusively transport digital data in packets. Now, did I guide the AI into answering how I wanted it to answer? Yes. Do I feel vindicated? Yes. In broadcasting, analog over IP is essentially marketing terminology that emphasizes the replacement of traditional analog infrastructure with IP-based digital systems. It's like saying VoIP is sending the sound waves of your voice. It's not.
All
it's
right.
sending a wave file.
I'm trying.
Come at me.
I'm trying to go through the documentation on our trunking system right now, and hearing that and your AI gobbledygook in my head
is having trouble.
Yes.
Well, you take your time. I'm here.
It looks like the IP information is actually sent as sub-audible tones, possibly, with the analog on top.
I'm sorry. Are you suggesting that you're using tones across your IP network?
No, no, that doesn't make any sense. That's old school stuff. You wouldn't be doing that. All right, this is an old document, whatever I'm reading. I'll have to dig into that more. There was a presentation on the whole thing that I missed at our district meeting. Because, it was confusing me, too, originally. And somebody was talking about...
because it's just converting it to a WAV file and then transmitting it.
But there was something there about he had talked about the loss...
Andy, you can't transmit... Wait, lossless?
No. The time lost in doing a digital to analog, or an analog to digital, and then back to a digital to an analog thing there, where it stays analog across the whole path.
It can't.
There's got to be something in there, though, and I don't...
What he might have been talking about is compression.
No, there's...
That you can't process it digitally, but, you still, in order to send it as discrete packets... It has to get digitized.
And I'm trying to remember how he explained that, because we had talked about the encoding and decoding time was too long with what they were doing. There was some sort of thing where they were not actually doing an encoding and decoding delay, and I don't remember. This was a conversation I've had over a year ago.
Okay. Please follow up. I'm happy to hear this, but, no. You can't send an analog signal over the IP protocol. TCP/IP don't work like that.
I'll have to look it up.
Sure, you do that. It'll be one of those from a certain point of view bullshit things.
Mm-hmm.
Niantic sold Pokemon Go.
Yes, we had brought this up that this was rumors that this was going to happen, and it happened. $3.5 billion bought by Scopely, which is basically the Saudi government.
Yeah, it's a development company owned by a company that is owned by the investment arm of the Saudi Arabian government, which means your boss's boss's boss is the king of Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Because Saudi Arabia is a monarchy.
Yep. There is one person at the top.
Oh, also, most of the stuff owned by that investment arm is actually not managed by the king, but by the prince. You remember the prince?
Oh, the prince who had a journalist
murdered.
Yeah, that one? Yeah.
That one. I don't remember his name, but...
Khashoggi.
He now effectively owns Niantic.
Oh,
well, not
Niantic. You weren't asking about the journalist's name. You were talking about okay,
the prince. That prince now owns Pokemon Go.
What is it? MBS. What is his name? MBS. Mohammed bin Salman?
Saudi? It's not Mohammed bin Saudi, right?
No.
Okay.
Mohammed bin Salman al-Saudi. Al-Saud.
Al-Saudi. Okay. Also,
I just remembered his initials were MBS. That's what everybody called him.
Yeah, I would kind of urge you and others to not spend Google funny money on Niantic, on Pokemon Go anymore.
Okay.
I'm not going to anymore, because that money, even if it's funny money, it's money from Google that would be going to the Saudi government.
Yep.
So, yeah. Also, like, get ready for pay to win.
Yeah, no, I've looked at Monopoly Go. Isaac was looking at it at some point, watching it, going, this is ridiculous. And I've seen the other, like, Go-type spin-offs.
Yeah.
It was like Board Game Heroes or Dice Dreams, or it was all those stupid games. And I'm like, this is...
Yeah.
These games are just ridiculous. So, yeah.
Not great.
Nope. Not great at all. So let's see what else we got on here that you want to talk about.
What else do I want to talk about on here? California's bill?
Yes, California. So New York had that bill that said that back in January, they were enforcing a $15 broadband per month service for low-income families. And, of course, you know, the telecoms try to fight this tooth and nail the whole time, saying we don't need to offer this, we can't offer this, this cannot work.
Right.
And, of course, let's see, district judge blocked it, but then the U.S. Appeals Court upheld the law, and then the Supreme Court last month, December, decided not to hear the broadband challenge to it. So, Appeals Court upheld the law, came in place. So in New York, that low-income families are able to get broadband internet for $15 per month, at least. It's not great speeds, but it's still, actual internet.
Right.
So California then has now put in a law, or they're trying to put into a law that was, the bill was submitted back in January, and the original version simply declared that we will require affordable home internet service for, low-income houses, but there were no specifics on speeds or prices. And there was just another amendment put in there saying that it was going to be a $15 price, just like New York's, but New York's download speeds were only, I think, New York had download speeds of 25 megabits per second. California wants to do 100 down and 20 up for $15 a month for low-income California residents.
The only problem, well, not the only, but a problem with this is, what do they classify as a low-income California resident?
Well, I know there are certain requirements based off of, like, we looked at when it was during right after COVID, when Michigan started doing the free lunch rules. The school had sent out this form because they still wanted to get some federal grant money for the low income kids who still qualified for the federal money. They're like, look, state's going to give free lunches to everybody, but if you are a low income household, can we just have everybody fill out this form and make sure that we get all the low income kids so we can get federal money to help cover this as well. And there was certain things on there about, like, how much money you were making, where you were living, and what's the poverty line in the county, things like that. So there are some definite hard numbers for income level for the household and where you're living, and how much.
But what is that in California versus the rest of the country?
That part I don't know, especially with cost of living in California being higher than anywhere else.
Right, like just the amount it costs to live in the San Francisco area is insane.
Eligible household, according to the bill here, means a household within the California Internet Service Provider's California service territory with at least one resident of the household participating in a qualified public assistance program. Let's see. Qualified public assistance program means California alternate rates for energy, blah, 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 supplemental security income, state supplementary payment program, of part of something welfare, temporary assistance for needed families programs under this thing of Social Security. There are some very specific government assistance programs listed here, according to this amendment that had been posted. So, now, which is interesting because was it in New York? I do believe it was AT&T basically just backed out of all of New York because they didn't want to comply with the New York rule of $15 for this.
Jesus.
Which they cannot do in California because AT&T is considered something to
necessary?
do. Yeah, necessary due to classified as a carrier of last resort for landline phone service.
Oops.
So AT&T can't do what they did in New York, because they're going to lose. They're basically like required to be in there to be listed as a carrier of last resort. So it's not going to be easy for them to drop California.
No. If they do, California just gets to take their shit.
I do believe so.
Privatize the phone company.
Our rules were designed to provide that assurance of carrier of last resort.
Nationalize. That's what I was talking. Nationalize the phone company. God damn it, Edison. This is your fault.
Trying to read through this other document on AT&T's trying to fight its status as carrier of last resort in California. And, of course, losing on that as well.
Yeah.
But still, it's one of those things where it's like, remember, was it Comcast was required from the FCC during their merger to put in low-income internet?
Yeah, but that's not a thing. Come on.
Well, no, because they actually kept the program after because the government required them to do it for certain I think it was 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then after those 2 years, Comcast actually was like, no, this is a good thing. And they have kept the program. It's
shocking.
Comcast is still to this day having a Xfinity, some sort of program. I forgot exactly what it was called.
Shocking.
What do they call it? Comcast has a ACP program. That's what they're calling it. It looks like affordable connectivity program. So you can 75 megabits per second, free equipment, no credit check, no contract, $15 a month.
Neat.
So no, Comcast. That was the one thing. It was Comcast is no, this is good. This is working out. This is something we're actually going to keep. Yep. You forced us to eat our vegetables, and you know what? It turns out we actually
they don't taste so bad.
No.
Well, also because those people who are on these programs are getting used to having high-speed internet, and so once they're off the programs, I'm sure they are converting to full customers.
Yes, probably. Most likely, yeah.
I bet some of them don't even realize that they are.
Oh, where they're on the program, and then they're off, and they just accept it?
Yep.
All right. Well, to end on some good news...
Pinball.
There is, yes, a portal pinball machine. I don't know where this is or where I can find it, but I want to play. Yes, I want to
play the portal. Well, Andy, for $12,000, you can have one.
Oh, jeez. No, I'm good. We just bought a brand new car. So,
oh, congratulations. I didn't know that.
Yes. No, my car, I took it in for an oil change, and they said, your rear axles are about to fall off.
Oops.
And your engine is leaking from multiple spots. So,
isn't your car from the state?
No, this was my 2015 Outback.
Oh, okay.
No, my state vehicle's at 116,000 miles right now, and was supposed to be traded in before I even started.
Oops.
But they didn't have the required components for the pickup trucks. But no, I'm supposed to go from a Ford Expedition XL to a 3/4-ton pickup truck.
Oh, good Lord.
Which one of my coworkers has one now. That will not fit in my garage. The Expedition barely fits in my garage. That truck with the cab on the back, because I got this full-size cab for storing all the equipment. That will definitely not fit in our garage.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad I got that concrete pad poured and widened our driveway to 3 cars wide so I can actually park that thing, because it's...
So this Portal pinball game.
Wow, that was a rabbit hole.
Portal.
Yes.
I mean, the portal technology doesn't actually exist.
No.
Does it have portals that the ball can go in?
Yes. There's an actual...
Does Speedy Thing go in, Speedy Thing come out?
There's one where there's an aerial portal table feature, which, trying to see how this actually works. You have to watch the video. But there is a portal that will actually, if you have to go in hard enough to actually get it to launch over the acid pit. If you do not have enough momentum, your ball will actually land in the acid pit.
That's amazing. And apparently that portal also changes color.
Yes, because of course you have to have the orange portal and, the blue portal.
And also the red and green is the pair?
Oh,
God, I don't remember the second pairing. One of them's pink.
I'm like, I swear I should know this. I played an entire thing with Johnny Nero. We went through the entire Portal 2 co-op on Xbox without talking to each other.
Just using the in-game emotes?
Yes, just the in-game emotes and the
point here and say portal here, then here.
Yes. Yeah, you can basically paint where you would want the portal to be. So the two of us together were able to beat the Portal 2 thing without actually speaking with each other, which I thought was just amazing.
Yeah.
But yes, no.
Speaking of, how's Claude doing?
Not so well last time I heard.
Oh no. Oh, tell me Claude's not back in Mount Moon. Oh no. Claude's back in Mount Moon.
Oh jeez.
He couldn't figure out where to go. Because he can't figure out what tree he can use cut on. And so he's backtracking, saying, maybe I missed a thing. Oops. We're extremely close now. Oh, no. Oh, Claude. What do we got?
Randoms?
Randoms?
Yes.
Yeah, your review.
Yes, I would like to review Carmen Sandiego. The new Carmen Sandiego.
There's a new Carmen Sandiego?
Yes, new Carmen Sandiego. Turns out this was one of the games developed by Netflix. So I got the digital version for free because I'm a Netflix subscriber.
Based on the Netflix Carmen Sandiego TV show?
Yes, it is based off of the Netflix Carmen Sandiego TV show because I had no idea what was going on, and I finally had to go back and watch an episode of the cartoon to actually understand what's going on.
It's the Carmen's not actually a bad person.
Nope. It's Carmen. You are Carmen Sandiego, and you're working with Acme in order to catch other vile people who have, stolen, monuments and other important things. Yeah. So the game is actually you start out in basically a campaign mode. And, as you level up, you unlock campaign missions. You beat the mission, you level up, you unlock the next one. Well, at one point, you don't level up enough during the campaign in order to unlock the next mission. And so they have these I think they call them old files or cold cases or something in the game. Uh-huh. And there are QuickTime events in this Carmen Sandiego game.
Okay.
In the campaign mode, there are QuickTime events. There are you have little 3D rendered areas that you have to wander around and explore to try and find.
I mean, that sounds like an old adventure point and click game.
Yes, it does sound like it. Yes, so it's got a point and click adventure type thing there, in order to find the clues at some of these locations.
That sounds right up your alley.
Yes, but when I'm playing a Carmen Sandiego game, it's I remember playing the old school Carmen Sandiego, we're in the USA, we're in the world's Carmen Sandiego. Yeah. And it's okay, you click a button, you walk there. The cold cases or whatever these things are called, I'm trying to open up the game now so I can remember exactly what they're called. Those are the original Carmen Sandiego games. There's no QuickTime events, there's no nothing. There are sometimes some puzzle things in there. Mm-hmm. Where there's a lock-picking mini game. There's like a tracing mini game. There's a couple of other mini games in there as well. But, they're called Acme files, which are these old ones that will give you extra levels to level up to continue the campaign. And granted, I have beaten all of the campaigns so far, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are just 9 campaign levels so far in the game. That's it. So you have the 9 campaign levels, and then once you're done with those, all you have are these Acme files to play. And this is where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, but it's where in the, let me count them. I think there are only 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 locations in the world that you can go to.
That's not many.
No, so it's like, where in the 15 locations is Carmen Sandiego? And some of the clues that you get are like, oh, she's going to an airport that has a B in the airport code.
How many airports are in the 15 locations?
Well, you only get 3 options. Just like the old Carmen Sandiego games. There's normally just 3 options for you to pick from.
But, like, you can see the airports.
Yes. So you can tell which airport has a B in it, which might be 2 of them, because it seems to be that they would always give you a clue that, gives you 2 of them. And then you go to the second one, and there's a clue that, narrows it down to 2 of them, which might be the same 2 or might be a different 2, and then you can,
So it's a little easy, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that has nothing to do with the fact that it's a game designed for children. And you are a 40-plus-year-old man.
Well, no, there's actually, in the game, no, let me tell you, in the settings.
No, wait. Yeah, yes, in the settings.
There is actually a casual mode, which sets the difficulty of all minigame puzzles to easy. So there is actually a kid mode available.
No, Andy. There's a toddler mode available. The whole game is kid mode.
Yes.
It's a game for children.
Yes, this thing, I was excited.
It's like getting stuck in Pokemon. A game for children.
But yeah, no, so like...
Sorry, I had to poke that one.
Yeah.
Yes, Andy, Carmen Sandiego is perhaps too easy for a college-educated adult.
Yeah, no, the campaign has an interesting storyline, and I wish for them to continue it, but it's just...
Perhaps you should just watch the TV show.
Yeah, I know, I'm going to have to go back and watch the TV show, but I've got other things to watch first.
Okay. I'll warn you, having watched some of the TV show, it's a TV show for children.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Okay.
I mean...
Just don't expect, like, in-depth characters.
No, but, this might be something I could get Megan to watch, especially if,
Yeah. Strong female lead.
Yep.
Be pretty awesome, but TV show for kids.
Yep. But yes, this...
have you watched... crap, what is it? It's Land of the Wonder Beasts. Kipo. Have you watched Kipo yet?
I don't even know how to spell that.
Kipo.
No.
Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts. Highly recommend it.
Okay.
Good TV show for kids.
All right. Right now, the kids are actually watching Is It Cake? So.
Is It Cake?
Yes.
Yeah. Watch Kipo. It's cute.
But yes.
It's a good watch together.
The Carmen Sandiego game, it's very nice. Is it worth, let's see, how much is it on the Switch? Is it worth the $30 on the Switch right now? No.
Oh, come on.
Nope. Dude, no.
Yeah.
Is it worth $30 on the Switch? No.
No.
Did I get it free for being a Netflix subscriber on my phone? Yes, I got it for free on my phone.
There you go. Yep.
So if you have Netflix and you want to try and relive some old school thing here, especially with, those classic Vile, Fast Eddie and, all those crazy Vile bad guys.
Or putting it out there, you could go to like, oh, wow, maybe not. It's not on Good Old Games.
What?
I was going to say you could get Carmen Sandiego on goodoldgames.com, but apparently no.
I think Internet Archive has...
I wonder where the rights are right now.
Yeah,
apparently Netflix.
Look at the Internet Archive.
Internet Archive has Carmen Sandiego?
Yes. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego enhanced? Publication date 1989.
So if you want to just play that instead, you could download that and play it.
Mm-hmm. So, but played it on my phone. It was fun.
Okay,
but just don't pay for it. No.
Okay, it's certainly not $30.
No, certainly not $30. Definitely. So, all right. Random topic.
Yep.
Speaking of video games.
Yeah.
Wow, these are unexpected segues. Random topic, rolled ahead of time. Pick a new set of starter types for Pokemon. Because you told me that it's always
fire, grass, water.
Fire, grass, and water.
Yes. Technically, I think it's always grass, fire, water.
Well, actually, no, I don't know.
Because the first Pokemon in Gen 1 is Bulbasaur, grass type. And the Pokedex, it's always the same order. It's grass, fire, water.
Okay. So yes. In the Pokemon games right now, it is grass, fire, or water for your starter Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh, well, and Pikachu, technically.
Well, yes, and there's also the Eevee one as well.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick a new set of starter types for Pokemon, what would you pick?
Yeah. This is actually a hotly... Where did this question come from? Who submitted this?
Isaac.
Really?
Yes.
I'm impressed.
Well, because we were talking about Pokemon, because he's still doing Pokemon. He's still opening up the Pokemon pocket packs. He hasn't touched Let's Go Pikachu yet, or no, not Let's Go Pikachu. Pokemon Yellow. He hasn't touched Pokemon Yellow. He's kind of getting back into Minecraft right now, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, totally.
But there was a website where you could pick your favorite Pokemon of each type for each generation.
Okay.
And then there was a, grass, fire, water, blah, 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 all the way across. And there was one section that was you could pick your favorite out of the starter Pokemon, which for Gen 1 had grass, fire, water, and then it also had Pikachu and Eevee in there.
Yeah. Because Let's Go Eevee and the Pokemon Yellow.
Yes. And so he was like, well, what other ones could we have in there? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like, well, what kind of starters would you want to have in there if it wasn't Eevee or Pikachu or the main three? And I'm like, I don't know. So he was like, well, we should figure out what we would want to have for our Pokemon
starters.
Game, for our starters. Yeah. So what we came up with the trio of Fighter, I think it was like Fighter, Fairy, and was it Steel, I think? Mm-hmm. I think that's what we had picked for our trio. Because I think, Steel is weak to Fighter, and then...
strong against Fairy. Do you know, by the way, why Steel is strong against Fairy?
No. There was
Iron.
Okay.
Fairies are weak to iron.
Yeah. No, there was a frickin' 20-minute YouTube video where somebody went through all of the strengths and weaknesses of all the Pokemon and what their thought was or what,
why it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was Fairy, Steel, and Fighter was the trio that we thought would be the better starter types for Pokemon.
So Steel is good against Fairy, Fairy's good against Fighter, Fighter's good against Steel. Can you swap in Dragon in there? I think there's an immunity with Dragon, though. Dragon type. Where's the chart? Yeah, okay. Fairy is immune to Dragon. Never mind. That would not be a great starting set. And, right, it's not Dragon, because Dragon is weak against itself. Dragon's a weird one, man. Dragon's weak to itself. It's not effective against Steel type, and it has no effect on Fairy type. Fairy is immune to Dragon. So yeah, the one I was thinking of then wasn't Steel, Fairy, Dragon. It must have been Steel, Fairy, Fighter. I knew there was a trio over there somewhere. And that seems to be the most fair secondary one, but just kind of barely, and it has its own problems. But this is a hotly debated question in the Pokemon universe of what should the next trio be? What would be the alternate trio? And yeah, probably what you guys picked, Fairy Steel Fighter.
Yeah, no, we were looking at trying to find the type triangles.
Yep.
And that was...
I did watch a video recently of what would be the strengths and weaknesses of a Pokemon that was every type.
I don't know.
Like, what would it be strong, what would it resist, and what would it be immune to? And the answer is it's immune to a lot of things.
Oh, the other one that we were thinking of was the electric, water, ground trio as well.
But that's an immunity.
Oh yeah, it's not a...
Ground is immune to electric.
And then electric is immune to water?
Nope.
Oh, or water is immune to electric?
Nope.
Oh, it's...
Water is weak to electric.
Okay.
But
electric
an electric move attacking a ground Pokemon
is an immunity?
It's an immunity.
Oh my goodness, it's not a...
Where does the electricity go, Andy?
It goes to ground.
The Pokemon is in the ground.
Yeah.
It is made of ground.
Yeah, no, okay. So it's not a weakness triangle. That's just that's like a open delta is what that is.
Right. It's electric has no effect on ground but is weak to ground.
Okay.
So in one direction, you're correct. Ground is effective against electricity, which is effective against water, which is effective against ground. The other direction, not so great. Water, I don't think water is weak to ground. Yeah, water is not weak to ground. But it is weak to electricity. Electricity is weak to ground. Yeah, it's bad. Ground has no effect, or electric has no effect on ground. So it's weak to ground, but it can't even touch it.
Okay.
Oh, right, and water, weak to, So I would say no on that one. You don't want that one.
No. Just in case you're wondering, there is on Internet Archive, there is the Vial Box, which is the Carmen Sandiego collection from 1986 to 1997 of all of the Carmen Sandiego games in that range, which is a lot. So, if you really want to play Carmen Sandiego, just Google Vial Box. We'll go from there. But anyway, okay. Fairy fighting steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a good trio.
I'm glad that the two of us sitting here Googling random stuff was able to come up with the best answer.
Yes. So. The objectively best answer.
Okay. Well, on that surprising note, that's a wrap. This has been another episode of the Random Access Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, corrections, suggestions, remarks, reviews, rebukes, retorts, or just rants, feel free to contact us. You can find us on Twitter at RAPodcast, or send us an email at mail@rapodcast.net. Thank you for listening.